Looks like they're afraid to engage. There's too many of us. And the camels. Well, what can they do against that many nets? The general has fallen, and the reinforcements are incoming. Good for us. Look at that, sick warriors. An army is full of sick warriors. Have been the biggest mistake that our enemy has made while fighting French. Surely we had to know. Yeah, we'll have a back charge, and this back charge will quickly be too much for our enemy. Okay, everybody can get into a position now. They are coming after us. One thing about this is that we know that they will probably fight very incohesively. So we may as well just march on them. Wait for them to line up. They will just foolishly move forward against us, and this will play badly against them. They would at least have to get into a proper line position, which here Indians will be in charge. They're being supported by artillery fire. I want some of my troops to get onto the side, to the flank in the middle. And here, our card holder is pressure. It's just that there's many of us, not so many of them. Right. They will support Looks like our soldiers are route. The most important thing to avoid here is the train route, and that looks like exactly what's taking place here. Let's hit them in the back, and let's hope that things will change. The Indians are running away, and so our light infantry also. In the meantime, we have successfully surrounded these Marathian Federalist soldiers that are defending the town. And things are surely going as planned for us. Here we're gonna have a good charge on them. So Okay, come on. Attack them with the backs. Here also. Because our soldiers are so tired, exhausted in fact, the enemy is capable of withstanding the assault, which is very surprising actually. But I've already experienced something like this before, and it is certainly a little weird, but that's the way it works. Tired soldiers should never ever engage in battle, really, ever. And otherwise they are just not going to perform well enough. Okay, the rear charge is of utmost importance. Here, as you can see, their soldiers are capable of just dealing devastating damage. They are all melee experts, surely, but they perform so well. It's absolutely incredible how well they performed. Here we may shoot them up, and that's probably the only way we can gain any kind of advantage, and this will scare them off, so that's good. Okay. Surprisingly, they almost won, and that's due to us not using our abilities such as the weapon. So, as you can see, even if our enemy is weak in numbers, that doesn't mean that we can win, because they have proved themselves very capable. Not as capable against the weapon, but right here, look at that. These are mostly French soldiers who couldn't kill Marathons. So it looks like those guys that were training quite well didn't have anything else to do, maybe. Here they will launch an offensive and we will retreat. Good, that's fine. I want reinforcements to show up, and I want them to recover percussion shells. This is a cannon shell which explodes on impact rather than as the result of burning fuse igniting the bursting charge. Explosive shells usually rely on gunner lighting a separate fuse on the shell itself prior to the gun being fired. The fuse burns at a set rate and explodes after a selected time, regardless of whether or not a target has been hit or the enemy is nearby. Incorrectly set fuses can kill friends and gunners or not explode at all. Explosive shells are also limited to mortars and howitzers, which lob their projectiles in a high area. The percussion shell, however, is cunningly fashioned to take advantage of the explosive properties of fulminating compounds. These chemicals burst into flame when struck, and this can be used to ignite larger charges of gunpowder. The shock of an impact on a target is transferred to the fulminate, which then ignites the shell's bursting charge. Such shells can be fired from ordinary cannons directly at an enemy. Historically, the work of Henry Joseph Pike's Hand, 1783-1854, who combined the flat-firing cannon and the reliable percussion shell, lead directly to the obsolescence of the wooden warship and the rise of the ironclad. Next technology, Persian cap. Alright, looks like things are moving forward with our research. Workers are on strike in Bahamas. Surprisingly. Okay, just an accent. Workers are on strike in Sweden. That's what we already know, and we're gonna go for additional militia that would fix this problem. Fleet has been destroyed. Rocket ship. Spain. This nation has launched a rocket ship, the first of its kind amongst their rivals. This vessel has a wide deck to make room for devastating batteries of rockets that are in main weapons. Although not the most accurate form of attack, rockets are deadly when fired in mass at an enemy ship. Maybe we will need this in battle. Jameson's whiskey. Having recently acquired the Bow Street distillery in Dublin, Scotsman John Jameson has begun production of an Irish whiskey. Made using the latest industrial production method, Jameson's whiskey is triple distilled as opposed to traditional Scotch, which is double distilled. Other differences lie in the types of barley used by Jameson, and that this barley is roasted over Kilkenny anthracite coal fires rather than Scottish method, which uses peat fuel. Whether the differences regarding the way it is produced, whatever the differences regarding the way it is produced, Jameson's lives up to the ancient Gaelic term for whiskey, Uisci Betha, or the water of life. Okay, that just makes people get drunk, feel good about themselves. So the situation here is tense, obviously. Let's just recoup our forces, that's it. Our income jumped up by quite a bit, and it's unclear why. It's probably due to the fact that we are now currently trading in Europe fully. Nothing is actually obstructed. And from America. We are just fine. So here we're going to stay on the defensive for the time being.
Tenez-vous prêts. Tous sur le pont. Tous sur le pont.
Yeah.
Prêt.
And
Votre Majesté.
Try to recover before we engage again. Okay. So maybe our ports are finally paying off, and also we haven't taxed. I mean, we taxed quite a few settlements, so that may also be the case. In any case, I think I invested in the ports just a little bit too much, but because I'm not sure about the mechanics completely, it could be not. So the ports do add a constant increase in trade routes and a constant wealth per turn, so eventually it has to pay off, without a doubt. However, upgrading them to the limit would probably be suitable only when making something like 100,000 and having, like, let's say, upgrading them to the last at this global trading company would only be a good idea if there's nothing better to build, I guess. Because paying 10,000 is surely quite a bit. And what can I say? I'm going through the ports, and things are surely looking good. Very, very good. So what next we're gonna do? We're going to start upgrading other buildings, but not buildings that are related to trade, only the ones that are related with farming or production, like right here, water powered clothes mill. So we're going to produce quite a bit of other stuff, other things, and we focus on trade just a little bit later. And we build anything for any price. For example, steam powered clothes mill. A mill powered by steam engines can produce cheap goods of good, reliable quality on large machines. Profits from the mills can be enormous, as the machines run day and night for as long as the steam engines have coal and water. And there are raw materials to process. Usually there is a central engine, and power for various machines is transferred by a series of axles and belt drives. Powered machinery is dangerous, and injuries amongst workers are common. This is particularly true among child workers who are small enough to crawl beneath the looms and fix problems as they occur. It is all too easy to get caught in the whirling machinery and lose a limb or worse. Historically, workers saw steam power as a threat to their livelihoods. Plug riots, where workers destroyed boiler plugs to render steam engines useless, were common in Britain. The Luddite movement was so threatening that machine breaking was made a capital crime, and men were executed for it. The word French term sabotage originally referred to workers throwing their wooden Sabbath shoes into machinery to cause stoppages. The running of mills night and day did create jobs, but it also introduced the tyranny of obeying the clock through shift work. Well, obeying the clock through shift work is something that we are currently working with. Okay, communal farming. Interesting. Communal farming, say. And what about these? Palatial estate 450 reduces the chance of food shortages, posing happiness for nobility. Well, this doesn't give any happiness for nobility, so I'm going to tear it down. My type of buildings give me other bonuses, different ones. In any case, these palatial estates do give happiness to nobility, which is something I like. Probably Indians don't even have nobility, which is also a distinct possibility. I like to build that many buildings. Done. Let's move on to India and attack their settlements further.
Victoire!
Okay. We'll keep it this way, and everything should be just fine. We're just going to enjoy the money now, and for the time being, prosper. That's it. Okay, do you have militia? You don't. However, our militia units here. Let's send these into ports. I want these ports secured. Also here, I have to get rid of one of these ports. All in all, our armies are very nicely taking up the front line. I like to see that. We're making 61,000 now. And we're still having enemies here. North. So, here in the north,